How done? Oh, buddy Isaacs. Down here on location. Took my little studio with me today, and I got a guy here, my brother. He's got a story he'd like to say. Talking with him, so we just want to talk about it. And, you know, it's Halloween season and everything, spooky season, and I actually got a big podcast coming up Monday morning, supposed to air about 6 o'clock, and I'm going to put it on Facebook and everything. Everybody can watch it. And I had about an hour and a half interview, and it was pretty good. So I'll make sure I put that up. And if y'all like this kind of stuff, the missing pieces, and just, you know, you hit that share button, subscribe, whatever you need to do, and get these videos out there, and let's get this channel growing. So anyway, it was one night, I was sitting down there at the house, and my phone rung. And I picked the phone up, and all I heard was somebody on the other end. He said, "It's headed your way." And I'm like, "What's headed my way?" And so, what actually, I wasn't up there, and I never seen anything. But I know they stuff happened on that ridge that's just, you know, but a lot of people just wouldn't believe some of the stuff that's happened on that ridge. So what actually happened?
So it's been 8 or 9 years ago. It's been at least 8 years ago. This little beagle hound had got, I guess it got lost from whoever owned it, and it had took up at Mom's. And I felt sorry for it, and I'd been feeding it, so it stayed there. And it was probably midnight or so. This dog starts barking, and it's in the driveway next to the garage, next to Mom's car. And my first thoughts was somebody's trying to break into the car or the garage, and the dog has caught them. So the first thing I do is grab a shotgun and bust out the door towards the dog. And whatever it was took off running, and I thought it was a person, and of course I took off behind them. The dog took off behind it, and it went across the road and up on the top of the ridge, and right around the gal that had called in and talked to you before this video. Mm-hmm. It actually went by her bedroom window, and me and the dog after it, but we couldn't keep up with it. And it goes down to another neighbor's house, and I'm tracking it by the dogs barking. Right. So I'm after it, going towards your house, and it stopped. I never did see what it was, but it stopped, and it turned on me. And when it stopped, the dog stopped, and I stopped. And the dog retreated, and it gave me such a feeling that I walked backwards back to the house.
Could you tell how big it was?
No, but it was moving very fast. Very fast. It wasn't, and I've been in these woods my whole life. It wasn't a coyote or, you know, some type of a dog or anything like that. It was a lot bigger than that. It was taking strides. So later on, a few days later, I'm outside and I find some tracks in the dirt that look like 3 nubs. Mm. Puts you kind of in the mind of a deer, but a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Like a hoof.
Yeah.
Type. And the way the spread was on the tracks, it about had to have 2 legs instead of 4.
Yeah.
With the strides that it was making. So I never did figure out what it was. And I never had any contact with it again, thank God. And
Yeah.
I don't want any contact with it.
Well, I mean, could you sense anything?
Yeah. Yeah. When it stopped and turned on me, I knew it. I could hear that it had stopped because it was going through the woods. I could hear that it stopped, and when it stopped, I sensed that it had turned on me. I guess I'd run it about as far as it was going to run.
Right.
So when it turned, I backed up. And
So it was like pure evil.
yeah, it scared me to death. It really did.
And you've been in your woods all your life, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You never know. I mean, you never know what's out there.
I took a span of hunting. I went every night for 6 months. You know, I've been all through these woods my whole life. Never encountered anything like that before or since.
Yeah.
So, don't know what it was.
Well, I mean, you don't know. I mean, I think there's stuff out there that's made for people to see, made for people to hear, or maybe if you're trying to go on the right path for something, something maybe trying to steer you off that path, and it don't have to be. That's just like, you know, demons, spirits, whatever anybody wants to call them. They will try to derail everything you're trying to do if it's like on the right path.
Well, you know, back when we was kids, when something crossed that ridge and tore those fence posts out of the ground,
I remember I've told that on video before.
I wondered if it wasn't the same thing coming back through.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Of course, there's no way of knowing. It's just a wonder.
And
But
I've been out in the woods before, and I've had feelings that's just so heavy, just a heavy feeling, knowing that there's something watching you, but you can't see it, and that's a helpless feeling. And you know, there've been many a time I've walked out of them woods and terrified because you know don't know what in the world. You don't know what but you can tell something's there with you.
yeah, it's an even worse feeling when you have that feeling and you've got a shotgun laid to your arm and you don't feel like that shotgun can help you.
Yeah.
That's a bad feeling. So, I never did know what it was.
Did you ever experience the ghost that's supposed to run by you on the hill?
No, and I'm one that generally don't believe in that kind of stuff.
Well, I used to really be skeptical about it too until it happened to me one night.
So, and that thing that I chased that night, I didn't believe in it either, but it was still there.
Right, yeah.
But I know when it stopped, I stopped, and the dog stopped, and the dog left, and I left.
I don't blame you a bit. But yeah, there's people see stuff, but like spirits or demons or whatever, I think they can attach themselves to different things,
Certainly.
and they can even attach. It don't even have to be a certain thing. They can attach to a object. They can attach to a person. They can attach to whatever.
Well, it's like going to an estate sale and buying an antique. That's cool. It's fun. But if you're not careful, you could end up with more than you purchased.
Yep.
Because I believe that type of influence exists.
Yeah.
We're taught that it exists.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff can't be just a ghost. Just your spirit can't pass and go where it needs to go. Something like that would be above.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If something is a demon or something like that, everybody can call it something different. Some people may call it a ghost. Some people may call it a spirit. And come right down to it, it's just, you know, it's something that's put here on this earth to torment somebody.
Yeah. Yes, and that's what it does.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know.
But wherever that one's at, I hope it don't know where I live, and I hope it don't want to visit.
Well, you know, it's just right up on the hill up there.
As long as it stays up there.
Right.
As long as it stays
As long as
that
it
way.
stays up there in my backyard, okay.
Yeah.
I'll see.
You can let it chase you around. I don't want no part of it.
You know, I don't know that it's ever chased me, but I'm pretty sure that I've been, whatever it was, I've been close. Because there've been times, like I've said, that I've got out in them woods and I've had a feeling come over me like no other.
It's odd because it would have had to have been an animal because it left a track or something. You know, it wouldn't have been just a spirit.
Right.
It was something that had a physical body that took a physical step, but
Yeah.
it still didn't feel like it was of this world as
Right.
we know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get into skinwalker type stuff.
Oh man. That's something I don't talk about a whole lot because I've always heard that if you come looking for them, they'll find you. I've heard so many different stories, and especially if you try to talk about them, shed a lot of light on them, then you could have an experience with one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think something. Did I tell you what my wife seen about the thing that walked up by the house?
Oh yeah.
But now that. Did you ever hear it? Well, I'll tell her. That way everybody here can hear it. She come outside. I was going to work, got in my car, and I left. And I came back home, and she said, "Did you see that thing when you was going to work, walking through up the road?" And I said, "No, I didn't see anything." She said, when she came out, she said something walked up that road. It was on 2 feet, 2 legs, real tall, walking up the road. And it turned and come up toward the house. My daughter came outside, and when she came outside, it dropped down on all fours and ran up that field by the big tree and down over through the woods. And by the time it got to the tree, it was running like a dog.
See, it's
with a big long neck.
That's not.
Said there wasn't no hair on it, nothing.
That's not 1,500 feet down from where I had.
I know.
So there's a good potential. So it might just be something that
Well,
comes through there on occasion.
Well, I found some rock mounds out there. There's 7. There's 6 this way, and 6 this way, and 1 dead center, like a horseshoe with 1 in the middle. I actually got a video of it, and some guy sent me a message, and he asked me. He said, "Did you disturb anything?" And I said, "No." He said, "Don't, because if you do, God help you." He said, "I've studied this kind of stuff." He said, "That's something you do not want to mess with." Is that your phone? I thought mine shut off.
No, it's mine.
Oh.
It was one of ours.
Because mine likes to shut off in the middle of a video sometimes.
So what's your thoughts about Annabelle being in Kentucky?
That's something else that I think that there's something attached to.
Sure, well, that's a prime example. Like when I was talking about going to an estate auction and buying an antique and not knowing what's attached to that.
Right.
Annabelle would be a prime example of that.
Oh, yeah. But I saw that was going to be in Kentucky, and I said, I want to go see it, but I don't.
I don't want no part of that.
No.
I'd be afraid something would attach itself to me.
Yeah. And I would be, it'd be my luck, too.
Honestly.
So,
It's quite possible. You know, I read that they have a priest that stays with that thing.
they do. I saw the video where they unloaded it. There was one person on each side of it, and they rode it across the parking lot. The priest was walking behind it.
But you know, honestly,
escorted it in.
If it's possessed and it's demonic, if it wants to come out of there, there's no priest that stands a chance, really.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, what amount of holy water is going to keep that off of you if it wants to come out?
Yeah.
But then you would have to ask yourself, why would it want to come out? It's getting all the attention it wants.
You're right.
It's basically idolized in some places. So
I don't know, unless it just doesn't want to live in a doll anymore. I've got that possibility.
Well, I hope it wants to live there until I get away from it.
Yeah, I don't want no part of it.
But you're right about these estate sales and stuff. You don't want to go in there and buy like a old that's the main thing. Don't go buy an old porcelain doll. I'm scared to death of porcelain dolls. Okay. Now Annabelle's not a porcelain doll. It's actually
She's Raggedy Ann.
exactly. It's an old, and I always thought it was a porcelain doll.
Right.
yeah,
And then some people I know actually went to Lexington and had their picture took with it. And I said, no, that even looks spooky. I don't want that. I don't want no part of that.
But isn't there one called Charles too? That's a doll that's supposed to be possessed.
Yeah.
I
That's
think his name is Charles. I'm not sure.
It is. And that's the one you're supposed to ask for permission before you take the picture, all that. And if you don't, it'll do bad stuff.
What is it? They got Annabelle on camera walking across the room and sitting down.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, and they've got her on camera turning her head and looking at people.
I wouldn't like that.
Yeah. If I see a doll looking at me, it better be made to do that.
It's supposedly
Yeah.
on camera.
And I always, when I was growing up, we had a doll at the house. It was one of them that always, it would, depending on how you moved it, it would open and close its eyes. When I was little, I was terrified of that thing. Because I could have swore one day that it would sit there and open and close its eyes with nobody around it. So there's
Yeah, I don't do that. The porcelain dolls creep me out.
any dolls. But I'm like that with any of them. I can't, especially if I'm in a room and I see one, I'll get up and walk out. You know, now, especially if I'm by myself.
So one of my co-workers gave my wife a porcelain doll for Christmas to spite me.
Really?
If you're watching this, you know who you are.
It's in Kaylee's room now.
So,
Oh, okay. Kaylee take care of it.
yeah. Packing the porcelain dolls in on me. Thinking it's funny.
Yeah. I don't think I only have one in my whole house, and it came from my wife's grandmother. But
I think there's a total of 3 in the house, but they're not where he can see them.
yeah.
No porcelain dolls. Porcelain dolls weird me out.
But now I went to the auction the other day, and they had a bunch of them at the auction that come out of an estate, and I said I ain't bidding on that. You know.
Oh, I'd love to go and, buy antiques at these estate sales. But I 100% believe that. You really don't know. You don't know what that item or that object has. I don't even know how to describe it, but I believe something can attach itself to that.
Yeah, I do too.
So you got to be weary of things.
Now, a lot of people think everything gets more active around Halloween. Do you believe that, or do you think it's just
No.
No.
I don't think
No.
that would have a depth of time, like a sense of time.
And just like I said in that podcast I did, ghosts or spirits or demons or whatever anybody calls them, they don't have a time clock. They're always there. They may be more perceptive at night because your senses are more aware at night, and stuff like that. But a lot of people think when it gets around fall, I guess where the trees are turning and everything's dying, that's a sign of,
Yeah, what time would be something man-made
It would be useless to something like that.
to God or something demonic or anything spiritual. Time means nothing.
No, it don't. You're right.
Time means nothing. Time is a way we measure things. It's
Yeah.
not them.
That's right.
So
Time really don't exist. It's just a unit of measure.
it's a way to measure things. That's all it is.
Yep.
So they don't worry about that because they're eternal.
Yep. Right. So, but anyway, it's getting close to Halloween and everything, and I just wanted to come down and do this video with you, and I appreciate you taking the time to do it.
I'm glad to have you.
I've been wanting to hear that story for a while, and I've heard it before, but nobody else had, and I said, I'm going to give you the opportunity to.
Yeah, I've not told too many of that.
Yeah, well, and if you're like me, I don't hear, I've seen stuff and heard stuff, especially lately, and I don't know why, that I don't know if I'm opening myself up more to it, but it seems like that I see stuff and I hear stuff that I didn't when I was younger, and I really don't care what people thinks of it, because if I know I saw it, if I know I heard it, that's me, and they can believe it or not, I just tell the story.
I generally, if I see something or have an experience that is strange to me, I can stop and assess everything and usually explain everything away
Well, I had
to
a friend,
satisfy me. But that's one that I can't explain away because I don't know what happened.
yeah,
I don't know what happened. I didn't know what happened. The dog didn't know what happened. So don't know what it was.
well, I had a friend of mine at work. She was telling me that she's felt like she's had something following her around for 2 days. She said it's such a heavy feeling. She said it's just like everywhere she goes, this thing's right with her. And she come and asked me about it, and I said, well, I don't know. I asked a bunch of questions and stuff. Could it be this? And we finally kind of come to an agreement what we thought it could be. But I won't say just because, I told her I wouldn't say anything, but I thought it was pretty cool that she come and tell me that.
You never know.
And all the time, And I thought people would laugh at me for doing this kind of stuff, but I had people coming up to me at work. And they're like, hey, man, you're the only one I need to come to. I've got such and such happened, or I seen this. I just posted a video about, sound like a fire truck, about all these, it's probably,
Yeah.
yeah. But, because they had a little accident up the road there a while ago. Wouldn't nobody hurt or nothing, but yeah, I've actually got some video of lights all over the sky just flying. They would brighten, get real bright, go across the sky and disappear. And I posted the video, and I think there was like 8 or 10 of them. And they was 2 helicopters that was hovering, watching them, one on each side.
Didn't you have a similar experience with lights in the sky?
Oh yeah, I had an experience with UFO. It was actually validated. That would have been about 1995.
Okay, we got time.
95 or 96. I was standing.
It's a good catch, wasn't it?
I was standing on the ridge up there, in front of the graveyard, in the road, and I saw it coming. And it was 3 lights in a triangle shape. No flashing lights. Looked like 3 real broad lights in a triangle form towards the flat. And I stood, and it wasn't very high up. And I stood and I watched it, and it come right over my head towards your house. And making no noise. If I hadn't looked up, I wouldn't have never saw it.
Right.
So, I thought that was the weirdest thing, and I thought, I have had an experience with a UFO, and there used to be a show on called Sightings.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a couple year after that, they done a run on Sightings, and they had that thing on that show, describing it. And I saw that, and it freaked me out. I was like, I know that exists.
Yeah.
That thing about run over me on the ridge really happened. Saw it on the show. And it was exactly like what I had saw.
What I saw was I was coming up Big Hill. I took Glenna to work. That was when she worked in Berea. And I was coming up Big Hill, and there was like this big orb in the sky, right above the trees. And I thought it was one of those big balls they put on the power lines. So as I come around the curve, I think, and I said, there's no power lines on Big Hill. And you know where the old tavern burned?
Yeah.
Right there where that old tavern was, it was right above the trees. And I saw it. And I said, I got to pull over. And, I was going to take a picture, video of it. I couldn't pull over. I'm sitting here telling y'all the honest truth. I could not control my car. I couldn't turn the steering wheel loose. I couldn't push the brakes. It was just like something was making me keep going. And it felt like the time, or not time, but it actually the area that I was in actually changed. It was like, almost like everything went into like super HD. And that's the wildest thing I've ever felt in my life. I actually had done an interview in Red River Gorge, Powell County, with a guy that asked me about it, and I was telling him about it. And it's on a podcast called Tinfoil Tales, I believe it is. But it was the wildest thing I ever felt in my life.
I think the older I get, the more I realize I don't have nothing figured out in life.
Yeah, I know. I'm the same way.
Like I started out knowing everything, now I know nothing.
That's me. Well, I guess we better cut her short. We're right about 30 minutes, looks like. And I have figured out how to edit videos now. I can go over 30 minutes. So, but it's took me 15 years to figure that out.
Knowledge is power.
That's it. But anyway, I appreciate you having me. And
absolutely.
Well, we'll talk to y'all next time, and y'all keep an eye out for the weird stuff in the sky and in the woods, and keep your cameras ready, and just pay attention to what's going on around you, because you don't ever know. That bump could be something that you don't want to mess with. That's Buddy Isaacs, and I'm out.